Good morning. I have about 10 minutes before I go to work, so I figured I would post this at 6 something in the morning right now. And I want to talk about Saturn in Aries. So I've been doing a series, if you've been following, about the planets for the next 20 years, and Saturn changes signs so frequently over the next 20 years that I'm going to do a series about Saturn over the next 20 years, but it's going to take several videos. It's going to take me 12 videos to get through all that. So, uh, if I've already talked about the planets, they will be included in this. If I have not included those planets, you're going to have to wait for videos like about Jupiter and Mars and stuff like that to come up for me to discuss. Anywho, welcome to my channel and to this. I'm really creating these so that when people say, hey, what's going to be, I can be like, here is this information, and I can just direct them. And it's also for me so that I can look back and see. So right now it's 2024 and Saturn is in Pisces. Saturn is going to be moving into Aries in 2025. Saturn in Aries is not like the most fabulous place. As a matter of fact, it's one of the worst places for Saturn to be in. So, I'm really not looking forward to this time. However, there are going to be a lot of movements and changes in the next couple of years coming up with a lot of the bigger planets. The bigger planets are completely moving into other placements, like Pluto going into Aquarius and Neptune going into Aries as well, that I it's going to be really important, and it's going to be a really challenging time. Now, for people that are predominantly fire signs, because Neptune and Saturn are going to be going into Aries. So anybody that's predominantly fire, I've been talking about how during that time period, those people are going to click into place. It's going to be easy for them to transition. It's the rest of us that are going to hardcore struggle. This time period is definitely for the fire signs. Some for the air, a little bit for the air. They're not going to find, it's not going to be a struggle bus for them. But for earth and water, it's a whole other thing. Now, it doesn't mean that the fire signs are correct. If you know me at all and you know anything about my views astrologically, everybody knows I'm biased. So there's a few signs and a few placements, and it may not even be a bias. It may just be a truth that nobody, even myself, don't want to accept. Besides the point, I have a bias against Saturn and Aries because it's just wrong. It just doesn't go there. It doesn't work. It's not the thing. Why? Saturn's home placement is in Capricorn. Saturn is the planet of wisdom and father time, and it's a planet that is so serious, right? And it's so rigid. And in Aries is a child. Aries, they act like children. The reason they've been on the zodiac for so long, and the reason we still see so many Aries people, is because they're karmically still trying to learn their lessons that they just can't. They're bad at it. Aries, okay. I'm going to stop this rant. Saturn in Aries from it's 2025 to April 2028, I believe. And we may even have a small back and forth. I don't have my notes on me. Plus, I am still getting ready for work. So, with Saturn being the planet of wisdom in Aries, which I think it may even be to its fall in Aries, please correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have my notes. It's just so bad place. It's so bad because people with Saturn and Aries think they're right and they think they're doing the right things, and it may be the right things for them. That is definitely a theme that I'm seeing, is a lot more it's got to be about you. But just because you believe it's right in the moment doesn't mean it's actually the right thing to do. It's like no pain, no gain, right? I have got to eat my breakfast, but I have a little bit of time. I'll scarf that down. I need to finish talking about this. So, Aries is selfish and all about me, and it's a childlike thinking. They're the ram, so they go head first into shit. And this is not how Saturn works. Saturn does not just run into things. It recognizes what it is, tries to evaluate the situation, and Aries does none of that. They are the ones that go to war for a reason because they don't think twice about getting blown up. So if you're scratching that couch, so trouble, stop scratching the couch. If we do go to war in this time period, which I do believe, and I haven't brought this up yet, but I do believe that we're going to be going into a technological war very soon, a communications war, financial, like I think a lot more banks are going to get hacked, and a lot more financial institutions are going to have issues. There's going to be a whole lot of uprooting in the system. I don't think it's going to be a war that we see. I think it's going to be a war that is very unseen. And I haven't brought this up in most of my videos because I wasn't sure kind of when to bring it up. But I guess, Aries being so war centered and so angry and so irrational and quick thinking. And there are Aries that I know that, like, I know an Aries that's in jail, and I know an Aries that completely has her life together and is like the power woman. So Aries does come in different forms, but at the end of the day, it's too much at once that you don't know what you're doing. And you think, and Saturn is like the right thing to do. It doesn't mean you're actually doing the right thing when it's in Aries. Especially fire signs are going to think they're right and they're going to hammer into it, but they're probably wrong. And the rest of us, earth and water people, are just going to be like, oh my God, will you stop? And it's just, it's one of those welcome to 2025 to 2027, 2028 kind of things. Like, it's just like, oh my God, this is so. Now, when Saturn moves out and goes into Taurus, there's like a whole other type of problem that's going to come up. But again, I'm also biased. I'm going to lean negatively because to me, this is not a good place that Saturn is about to get. Saturn is currently in Pisces in 2024. So right now, we've been doing the right things, but almost with the undercurrent. It's like it's been right for our emotions and right for our spirit and Saturn coming up is like, it's going to be right for me. It's going to be mine. I'm going to do what I want, it's very self-centered. And for some of us, we may need to kind of come more back to center and stop trying to save the world and stop trying to do for everybody else. But it's a new phase of life that we're all going to have to adjust to. And some of us are going to adjust to it easier than others. If you really like watching this stuff, press all the buttons. You can fund me and my wedding. I love money. And I hope that you're enjoying these videos. I have definitely been enjoying making them. I'm going to eat my breakfast now and go to work. I hope you have a beautiful day. Peace out, fam. Love.